word says the holy healer was passing by one day. There was a man who was afflicted, but he had the strength to say, if I could only get to Jesus, my healing would be complete. If I could get through the door, I'll take off the roof. There's a healer in the house today. Oh, there's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. If you are sick and diseased in your body, well, I have good news to bring. You see, the healer, his name is Jesus, and he is the King of Kings. He rides on the wings of mercy. There's healing in his wings. So take the roof off your doubt, let your faith come out. There's a healer in the house today. Oh, there's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. If you're sick and diseased in your body, well, I have good news to bring. You see, the healer, his name is Jesus, and he is the King of Kings. He rides on the wings of mercy. There's healing in his wings. Take the roof off your doubt, let your faith come out. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. The word says the holy healer was passing by one day. There was a man who was afflicted, but he had the strength to say, if I could only get to Jesus, my healing would be complete. If I can't get to the door, I'll tear out the roof. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith to receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith to receive. There's a healer in the house today. Well, if you are sick and diseased in your body, well, I have good news to bring. You see, the healer, his name is Jesus, and he is the King of Kings. Well, he rides on the wings of mercy. There's healing in his wings. So take the roof off of doubt, let your faith come out. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith to receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe by faith to receive. There's a healer in the house today. You know, I was thought of this song this afternoon, and you know, there's a healer in the house. If ever at a time we needed a healer, we need a healer in the house. Not only just for sickness, but we need a healer for other things. But I was standing up here looking tonight, and I looked over here at Sister Haley and Brother Will. How many times have we prayed for this miracle? How many times have I walked over with a blanket, and I've handed a blanket, an empty blanket, an empty shawl, and I have put it in Haley's hands. Empty. There wasn't nothing in it. And we would pray for that empty shawl. We'd pray for that little empty blanket, that one day it would be filled. Come up here, Haley. Turn around to this audience. It's not empty tonight, church. There's a living, breathing baby in this tonight. There's a healer in the house. There's a healer in the house. Sometimes our miracles may not come exactly like we think they're going to come, but it came. Here's our miracle right here. Here's our miracle baby that we prayed for so many times, that they prayed for so many times. There's a healer in the house today. I'm going to come down here and stand for Haley Barnes. A lot of y'all don't know her, but she's a young girl. She's only 20-something years old. And she has battling COVID. She got better, got out into a room, thought she was going to be better. They can't get rid of the pneumonia. She's back in ICU. They've put her on a vent. Her mom and dad are very, very close friends of ours. William grew up with Brother Gary. He came here for a while several years ago. And I just feel led to come down here and stand for her tonight. Her daddy is just beyond devastated. The devil has just hopped on his back. He said the other day on Facebook, he said, I'm not going to call any names, but I'm not going to take any more negative from people. People are just giving him negative reports. But I got a positive report. What about you? I'm going to believe tomorrow they're going to get a better report. I believe they're going to get a better report because there's a healer in this house tonight. I felt it when I walked in tonight. I felt it in the prayer room tonight. And I'm believing that they're going to get a better report. Sometimes, like this man in the Bible, he was sick. He couldn't do it for himself. Haley can't be here for herself tonight. But what did they do? They took him. They couldn't get in the building. So they went to the extreme. They climbed up on the roof, and I've heard that story told so many times about how they probably had to balance him to keep him from falling off of the bed and everything else to get him up on the roof. It probably wasn't an easy task to tear that roof off and lower him down to Jesus for him to have pray for that night or that day, whatever it was. It wasn't an easy task, but they did it. They went to the extreme measures. It's time for us to go to extreme measures. We're beyond, this COVID cases, it's beyond just a little, now lay me down to sleep prayer. We got to go to the extreme measures. I'm going to stand down here for Sister Haley, and then we're going to sing some more. If you got somebody you want to come stand for, somebody you want a healing for tonight, I believe the healer's in the house.
Just start talking about miracles and healing. A lot of you don't know Sister Abby said, may not know Tina. Sister Abby there was I remember right, a USA Olympic karate fighter. And she got injured overseas and stayed over there several months. Look where she is today. God brought her home. God also helped her to be delivered. She was in a wheelchair for several years. I don't remember how long, but several years she was in a wheelchair. But look where she is now. She's walked through. Honey, I'm telling you, it may not be an immediate miracle, but there's a healing on the way. I've got one that knows how to deliver any situation we may be in, any possibility, honey, you got, or whatever problem you may have. As they sang it again, something from Jesus, why don't you try him and just see what he'll do for you. Go ahead.
The word says the holy healer was passing by one day. There was a man who was afflicted, but he had the strength to say, if I could only get to Jesus, my healing would be complete. If I can get through the door, I'll tear off the roof. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you, he wants to make a way. By faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you, he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe. By faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you, he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe. By faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. If you are sick and diseased in your body, well, I have good news to bring. You see, the healer, his name is Jesus. He is the King of Kings. Well, he rides on the wings of mercy. There's healing in his wings. Take the roof off your down. Let your faith come out. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you, he wants to make a way. Not ask and believe. By faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer in the house today. For you, he wants to make a way. Just ask and believe. By faith you receive. There's a healer in the house today. There's a healer.
could be your night. Whatever you need, my God's big enough to meet your need. You say, well, I've done been up, been prayed for time and time again. This could be your night. Took 13 times for the walls to fall down. It took 7 times to dunk in the River Jordan for him to be healed, Naaman to be healed. How many times is it going to take for God to really heal you? Brother Ray needs a touch, and God knows how to touch him. Anyone else?
He stole from me, took back what he stole from me. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. He's under my feet, he's under my feet, he's under my feet, he's under my feet. Satan is under my feet. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. He's under my feet. 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 Satan is under my feet. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. He's under my feet. 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 Satan is under my feet. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. He's under my feet. 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 Satan is under my feet. What he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. Yeah, I took back what he stole from me. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. He's under my feet. 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 Satan is under my feet. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back my joy from me. He's under my feet. 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 Satan is under my feet. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back my shout for me. I took back my shout for me. I took back my shout for me. But I went to the enemy's camp and I took back my shout for me.
me. He's under my feet. He's under my feet. He's under my feet. He's under my feet. Satan is under my feet. When I went to the enemy's camp and I took back my victory. I took back my victory. I took back my victory. When I went to the enemy's camp and I took back my victory. He's under my feet. 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 Satan is under my feet. Satan's under my feet.
When I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. I took back what he stole from me. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. He's under my feet. 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 Satan is under my feet. When I went to the enemy's camp and I took back what he stole from me. I took back my joy from me. I took back my joy from me. Went to the enemy's camp and I took back my joy from me.
He's under my feet. He's under my feet. He's under my feet.
He's under my feet. He's under my feet.
He's under my feet.
Satan is under my feet. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back my shout for me. I took back my shout for me. I took back my shout for me. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back my shout for me.
He's under my feet. 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 He's under my feet.
Satan is under my
feet.
When I went to the enemy's camp and I took back my healing for me. I took back my healing for me. I took back my healing for me. Well, I went to the enemy's camp and I
Took back my healing for me. He's under my feet. He's under my feet. He's under my feet. He's under my feet.
He's under my feet.
He's under my feet. Satan is under my feet. Well,
just the same. Come on and praise him. Look what the Lord has done. Well, look what the Lord has done. Well, look what the Lord has done. He healed my body. He touched my mind. He saved me just in time. I'm gonna praise his name. Each day he's just the same. Come on and praise him. Look what the Lord has done. Well, look what the Lord has done. Oh, look what the Lord has done. He healed my body. He touched my mind. He saved me just in time. I'm gonna praise his name. Each day he's just the same. Come on and praise him. Look what the Lord has done. Well, look what the Lord has done. Oh, look what the Lord has done. He healed my body. He touched my mind. He saved me just in time. I'm gonna praise his name. Each day he's just the same. Come on and praise him. Look what the Lord has done. Everybody's talking about this being the 20th year of 911. This is my 20th year too. This is my anniversary. I should be dead. The devil's a liar. That's what she reminded me of. 20 years ago today, I was coming home from the hospital from having emergency surgery on my colon. I went in. They thought I had appendicitis. They told Mom it would be a 30-minute surgery. I would be out and I would be going home the next day. 4 hours later, the doctor was walking into the visiting room where my mom was sitting and told her I probably had cancer. That my
appendix, that my colon had ruptured, but there was a ball around it, and he thought it would be cancer, and I would stay in the hospital for a week or two, and then I would get to go home. But it turned out that God had his hands on me that day. He had formed a ball around my colon so that the poison couldn't seep out into my system. See, my colon had ruptured 2 days earlier. That should have killed me, waiting so long to have my colon operated on. Poison is not supposed to stay in your system that long without killing you, but God formed a barrier around that colon so that that poison would not seep out into my system and kill me. I did have to stay in the hospital a whole week, but thank God that Sunday I got to come home. But it's also another 20 years for me. That December, right after that, in September, I was in a bad car wreck. I really don't know why God kept me alive. I had 28 broken bones. My lung was punctured, my liver was tore, my bladder was tore, and the doctors were just coming in and telling Mom if she's here tomorrow. I also had a head injury. I was in a coma. I had to have 28 units of blood. When the police officer came to the car, he could not find a pulse, and I wasn't breathing. He walked away, I'm assuming to go call somebody to come and say that I was dead on the scene, because I was dead. But for some reason, before he got to his car, he came back and looked at me, and my body moved. I don't know how it moved, because I still had no pulse. I still wasn't breathing. And there happened to be an apostolic lady standing on the side of the road, and he chose her. Out of all those people, he chose her to come be in my car. He said, if she wakes up, you keep her talking. You do anything you can. She didn't wait till I woke up. She started praying. And when the ambulance got there, or the helicopter, they flew me. When the helicopter got there, I was talking in tongues. I still wasn't breathing. I couldn't breathe on my own. I still had no heart rate. But I was talking to God, and he brought me through that. I stayed in a coma for several weeks, and every day, if she's here tomorrow, she'll be a vegetable. If she's here tomorrow, she'll be a vegetable. I started coming out of the coma, and they said, she'll never talk, she'll never walk, she'll never speak normally, she'll never think normally, she'll never be a normal human being. And this anger that she's having right now, you're going to have to learn to live with it, because that's going to be her. Well, something stirred up in Mom and said, it's not that head injury, it's the medicine you're giving her. And he argued with her for a little bit. And God said, stand still, stand still, stand still. The doctor come straight to my room, took me off that medicine, and the very next day, the agitation was gone. I was talking, I was walking, I was doing whatever I wanted to. God is a healer. 20 years is great.
My mind, he saved me just in time. I'm gonna praise his name. Each day he's just the same. Come on and praise him. Look what the Lord has done. Well, look what the Lord has done. Oh, look what the Lord has done. He healed my body, he touched my mind. Save me just in time. I'm gonna praise his name. Each day he's just the same. Come on and praise him. Look what the Lord has done. Oh, look what the Lord has done. Oh, look what the Lord has done. He healed my body, he touched my mind. He saved me just in time. I'm gonna praise his name. Each day he's just the same.